Are you at the point of going for a personal loan from a private financial institution here in Canada? Well, these are some of the things that they wouldn't tell you. As somebody who took a loan to help me on my final year school fees in Canada, these are some of the things that nobody told me about, but I had to live with. I feel like good or bad, sometimes you need to know the kind of fire you are walking into, and that is exactly what this video is about. My name is Dorothy Cornelius, and welcome to my channel. Let's take you back to 2023 summer. That was when I was like, you know what? I am tired of breaking my bone, working back to back, saving up to pay my school fees. I need help. I'm going for a loan. As at that time, I was working in a drive through in a small town called Port 7, right here in Canada. And I was bent on saving up to pay my third semester fees. And that was close to 10,000 Canadian dollars. So I Googled online, looked through which financial institution that could help me. And I finally got one, went through the process, asking so many things. Remember, in all this, I had a bad credit score, honey. That's something that nobody would want to admit ever, ever. But yes, I had a bad credit score. But hey, with the advertisements, they said, even if you have a bad credit score, we can help you, da 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 da. So yeah, I was like, why not? So I reached out, called them, we had a conversation, and I was like, honey, y'all know I have a bad credit score, right? I was like, oh yeah, don't worry. We just need to make sure, there's certain things that, you qualify for and everything. We need to know more about your finances, your history with banking since you are in a way new in Canada. So they reached out to my bank, they did whatever they had to do. You have to give them permission for them to look into your finances to check if you qualify and what it is, how much you want, and what they can give you if you qualify for a loan. So they asked me how much I needed, and as at that time, I was like, you know what, give or take, if y'all can give me $5,000, I will take it. And they were like, okay. So they came back to me. So all this was happening in summer 2023. They came back to me and they were like, oops, one, you're not qualified because of the job that you, like I said, I was working in a drive-through earning minimum wage. At that time, I think it was 16.65 or so. But I was breaking my back and I had no school. So I was saving up. So I mean, you could see money coming through and everything, but I'm still an international student, okay? They came back to me and the first two things they said, yes, you have a bad credit score. That's fine. We can work with that. Two, you've never borrowed. You've never borrowed anywhere before. You don't have any history of taking money anywhere. I was told that I don't qualify because I've never borrowed before. So they don't know about me paying back and all that. I was like, okay, no problem. So I resorted to asking my friends back at home to help with loans. I mean, yeah, I have pretty rich friends, if I can say that. So they helped, gave me money, I paid back and everything. So I didn't really think about it, but actually had my details and everything, So once then I signed up for their newsletter. So they send me, their anything new they're doing, if they're having promotions or whatever. I just see adverts about that particular financial institution on my phone and I'm like, okay, fine, that's fine. So I didn't bother. I was able to pay all my third semester school fees. I was able to sort that out. Okay, so now back to last summer. I was there when I had a phone call from one of the ladies that was dealing with me. I feel like they do that a lot, You have a lot of cold calls, people that need loans that they call back to ask if you need another loan and everything. So I had a call from the lady that dealt with me over that summer 2023, and she was like, oh, do I still, so I halted the process when they told me I did not qualify. I was like, you know what, if my job, that's fine. So they still had my contact. They reached out to me and asked if I still needed a loan. And this time I was going, I had a new job. That is where I started working in the long-term care, so my pay was a bit more. And it was later I realized that the institution was, kind of a good one. I didn't know much about it. I was just applying to go do my co-op there and everything. So yeah. So I changed my job and everything. So when the lady reached out to me and she was asking if I still needed a loan, I mean, I knew it was a no. So I was like, yeah, I tried, but I don't qualify anyway because y'all said I've never borrowed, and yes, I've never borrowed, and I still have bad credit scores. I don't think I qualify. She was like, oh, um, where do you work now? And I told her where I worked, and she was like, okay, how long have you been doing that for? Do you have your offer letter with you and everything? And I'm like, yes, I do have that, but first of all, I'm not interested anymore because I didn't need it. What's the stress if I don't qualify? She was like, you know what? Just let me do what I do. Let's see if you do qualify, then we take it from there. And as at that point, going into my final semester, I was not going to give anything to chance to owe school fees and not graduate. So I was like, okay, if that is that, no problem. Run it again with my still bad credit score and see if I do qualify to get a loan. And she was like, how much are you looking for? And she's like, oh, initially you said you wanted $5,000. Is it still the same thing? I was like, yeah. I mean, if you can give me, my school fees is 10K. I can manage to do half of that. If you guys can help me with half of that, why not? I take it, mama. She was like, okay. So she ran it. She came back and she was like, oh, since you don't have any history of borrowing. I was like, yeah, mama, you know this. Yeah, I don't qualify, right? She was like, yeah, but the thing is that because of the change in job, because now the job I was doing, I was earning more than $20 an hour, more than that. So she was like, oh, because of the job that you're doing now, how long have you been working there for? Do you have your offer letter? Which I was like, yes, I do have my offer letter with me. And she was like, okay, we can give you $1,000 to start off with because of the new job that you have now. And let's see if you're able to pay back on time without missing any form of payment, you know, we can look into getting the 4,000 or the 4,000 left. And I was like, okay. So she ran me the papers. I sent my, they were like, are you still using the same email? I was like, yes, I'm still using the same email address. They sent in my documentation. I was reading it and they were like, oh, we need the name from somebody from your workplace, more like a co-sign or something like that. I was like, no, co-sign from where I work, no. And they were like, what? And I'm like, no, it's a personal loan. You are dealing with me. I understand that. Even if you're not dealing with me, the next person should be from somebody from me, at least my family member or something. Why my workplace? I mean, no. They were like, no. I was like, no, then let's halt it. I'm not gonna do it. There's no way. I can give you where I work, I can give you a general number, but if you're looking for an immediate boss's number, you're not gonna get it because it's a personal loan and it's for me. It is for me. So these are some of the things that you really, really need to be stern on. My dear, you are not doing anybody a favor. They're not doing you a favor. You're not doing them a favor. Why? Because the money you're taking, you're paying an interest on it. I'm not saying be rude, but be stern. If they're giving you certain rules, certain options you're not okay with, for me, back out because I don't see why a personal loan, I'm taking for me, my personal, whatever. You're not asking for my next of kin, you're not asking for a relative you want, a boss that I don't know of. That apart from work, we don't talk about any other thing. Why is that person in my business? Do you get it? So for me, it's part of your rules, but for me, it doesn't work for me. So I told her that no, that part does not work for me. I mean, if I give my offer letter, you definitely see where I work and everything. But if you're telling me I should give you my boss, that doesn't work for me. Even if you're looking for a co-sign, my aunt, that does not work for me. It's a personal loan. Deal with me first. If I cannot, meet up and you're not taking other actions, I understand that. But I'm not ready to do that. No, no, I'm not comfortable with that. It's a personal loan. He said I qualify, I don't qualify. So I told her to halt it. I'm not interested. You're dealing with me, you're dealing with me alone. And she was like, oh, okay, it's not anything, it's just a procedure. I was like, no, I don't like that procedure and I'm not going to because within my heart of hearts, I know how hard working I am and I know I can pay back. And even if I cannot pay back, there are other people that I would want their names on there. I really hear of them for some time. Then they contacted me again and were like, okay, you know what? That is fine. If you don't want anybody contacting anybody, that is fine. We're going to deal with you. I was like, okay, thank you. So, one thing I realized about this whole situation or this whole, you know, experience is the fact that they can bend the rules. It's up to you to know how to talk your way into because, mama, they make money off the loan you're getting. So it, like I keep saying, they're not helping you, they're not helping you. We're all here to make money. You're giving me money because I need it. You're also taking interest, meaning that you're getting more. If you're giving me $10,000, you're making more than that. That is why you're into this business. Just be respectful, but if you know what you're looking for, don't bend and miss them thinking, oh, they're doing you a favor. No, they're doing themselves a favor. So make sure that whatever agreement you are is something that you are very, very comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with, move out or don't proceed, because at the end of the day, it's going to bite you in the end. Do you get it? Exactly. So she came back to me and she was like, okay, fine, we're going to do it this way. We're not going to contact anybody but you qualify for just $1,000 if you are able to make payment without, missing any payment at all. Then we can now come back and look into giving you the 4,000 that you want, making it $5,000 in all. Like that's what you still want right now. It's like, yes, honey, the money came so fast. It was too good to believe it. I was actually in the bus and I was doing the paperwork with this lady. It's electronic. You just put in your initials. Everything was done within minutes. Before I got home, my $1,000 was in my account and they gave me my breakdown, how much I was supposed to be paying. I was supposed to be paying, I think, $132 bi-weekly, and I was working, so I didn't see that to be a problem. So another thing too is once you accept that deal and they give you that loan, honey, you cannot go out of work. If you're gonna go out of work, you really need a plan B because they will take that money every 2 weeks. So, honey, if you know that your job is what is giving you most of your money, you cannot just lose it. You can just get up one day and go like you don't want to go to work or you just quit, because you need to make provisions on how you're going to be making that payment every 2 weeks if you quit. So now it's not just your rent that is on your neck, it's not just your utility bill that is on your neck. Now you have a loan to be paying and they'll be taking that amount of money every 2 weeks. And with mine, what they did was, knowing that I have a bad credit score, they sold another plan to me, compulsory form of savings to help me repair my credit score. And I had to make sure I was always having money in my account for these people to be deducted. So that's another thing that you need to, that's something they don't tell you. You keep paying till you are done. Even you take $1,000 and it looks like you have 6 months to pay. Every 2 weeks, they are taking the money off your account. So you need to make sure that your job is a job that you have it on a long term. If you have a job that is on a contract base, if I can use that word, honey, you need to make plans. You need to understand that before you go in to take a loan. Remember that if you miss a payment, that is it piling up. I mean, it doesn't start right away, but once you miss one, once you miss the second, now that's a problem. Do you get it? So you really need to know what you're getting yourself into. So if you're not in dying need of the money, please don't go for it. And if that money is not for something huge, something very important, like school fees, like, like a house, like health emergency, I know, like you're saving a life, please think about it before going for it. If you can get a loan somewhere else from a friend, I feel like from anybody else, please consider that before going in for a loan from a private financial institution here in Canada, because just the thought of somebody taking money off you every 2 weeks, honey, knowing that if you should miss a payment, you're going to owe so much. The anxiety alone, if you're not able to train yourself, you might die before your time. That's the pressure to it. And you're the only one bearing it. You're the only one bearing it, honey. That is something that you need to know. And I really wanted to finish school. So I feel like that was where the motivation was coming from. So at a point, they reviewed my paper again, and that was when I was about to go to school in September. Well, they told me by September 2024 they'll review everything and they might give me the 4K so I can use that to pay my school fees. So that was what I was actually looking forward, because I was about to go to school in September. So they reviewed and they told me that, oh no, I still have a bad credit score, so they can't give me the loan. And I was like, no problem. I mean, I was disappointed when they told me that I do not qualify for the $4,000. Yeah, they checked they went back, they reviewed my document. I don't qualify. And I was like, no problem. So I just want to stop the compulsory saving. One thing that I also did that helped me a lot is I was also keeping track of everything. So the compulsory saving, I had done it for like I've done it for like 3 months or 4 months or so. So I knew how much I was supposed to be getting. I do not qualify for the bigger amount that is the 4,000. There is no need. And I'd rather use that money to pay off the $1,000 I owe, so at least I can breathe. Do you get it? And they were like, oh, no problem. And whatever policy they sell to you at any point, if you're not, it has, like I keep saying, you gotta know what you're about. You don't owe them, they don't owe you, because it's a joint agreement. Do you understand? We're all on the same slate. They are not your God, you are not their God. I'm not saying go disrespect them, but be stern. If there's something that you don't understand, there's something that you do not want, don't go like, oh, I know how Africans behave. I know how we do behave when people help us like that. But this is not help. This is business. So I'm not saying go and rub it in your face. If there's something that is not sitting down well with you, voice it out. So I read it, I realized it. I was like, if people are not going to bend for me, they're not going to give me my 4K. And means I needed money for school fees. Now I have to look for other alternatives to get my school fees. Why am I doing this compulsory saving money? Let me use that money, that $20 they were taking from my account, that $30 they're taking from my account. Let me use that one to finish paying that $1,000 I took from them anyway. It'll be much easier. Do you get it? Because that I'm not gonna get the 4K anyway. So why kill myself? That was what was running through my mind. So they gave me the policy number. I had to call and call and call. It took forever, but they went through. I told them this amount you owe me. Can I get your money? But I don't want to do, because they also said, I read their policies, but you have to also read very well. I read the policies very well, and they were like, there's no penalties if I opt out that policy. So I was like, I'm out. You can't charge me for nothing. So I just want my money back. They were like, okay, your name, they took my details, and I was like, so when do I expect that money back? They told me a time, and I was like, okay, thank you very much. Close that chapter. So I was now just paying $132 bi-weekly, and I could do that because I still had my job. Even though I was a casual, I was still being paid. Then I got a job on campus as well as a student, as a library student assistant, and as a tutor as well. So at least I was having money coming in. So that $132 bi-weekly was not, I couldn't feel it that much. But imagine if I lost those jobs and I was having nothing coming in. Maybe I was just relying on a family member or my aunt sending me money, or my cousins or my brothers just sending me money. Imagine what I would have gone through. That's what I'm saying. Think about this thing on a long term. Don't let desperation make you accept something that you cannot pay back. And 132 didn't really sound like of a big amount of money to me. Do you get it? Yeah, so if 132 is too much for you, that means that if you're looking for a $5,000, then go down to 2,000 or 3,000, okay? So I feel like that it depends on the amount of money you're taking as well. If you're taking a bigger amount, of course, you're going to pay more. So if you don't want to pay more, pay less. One trick is just make sure the amount of money you're taking, when they split it and you're supposed to be paying bi-weekly, that bi-weekly money you're paying back should be something that at least you can cough out no matter what. Do you get it? So I feel like another thing you need to look out for as well. So now here we are. I'm not getting my 4,000 to help me pay my school fees. That is fine by me. I was desperate as at that time, because that was what I was actually waiting on, that money, that $4,000 to ease my stress. Because if my school fees is close to $10,000 and I'm getting $4,000 from this financial institution, I mean, I'm way through. Do you get it? That was the plan, but it didn't happen that way for me. Out of the blue, I saw this number calling me. My name is, she mentioned it. I was like, I know. It's more like she's the officer that has been assigned to my case. And she was like, oh, are you still working at a long-term care facility? And I'm like, yes, I'm still working at that place. She was like, do you still have your pay stub? Do you have recent pay stub? I was like, I do have recent pay stubs with me, but now that I'm in school, I can just work for just 20 hours at that time. The 24 had not been legalized yet, so it was just 20 hours. So I'm now a casual, but still working there. She was like, okay, good. You do qualify for the $4,000 now. And I'm like, how? I still have a bad credit score. I mean, you're my financial officer, so you still know my history. She was like, yes, I know. And you told me that I did not qualify like 2 months ago. She was like, yes, I know, but you've been pre-approved. And I'm like, how? She was like, do you still want the money or you don't want the money? I mean, they've pre-approved it. You just have to update the documents. You can sign, send me a current pay stubs of yours, and we can transfer the money to you in a minute. And I'm like, wait, what? She was like, yeah, you've been pre-approved. I'm like, just like that. I was like, yeah, just like that. You've been pre-approved. So I'm just calling to ask you if you still want the money or not. And I'm like, damn, girl, send it over. And she was like, now the money you're going to be paying bi-weekly will increase. And she was like, you'll be paying 165.70 cents. I was like, dollars. She was like, yeah. Okay, so I'll no longer be paying 132. I'll be paying 165.70. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. She was like, okay, fair enough. So I sent her the pay stub, my latest pay stubs, and within minutes they sent me new documents. I signed within minutes. I had $4,500 sitting in my account like I used to pay for my school fees. So yes, and I'm still paying bi-weekly. Let's get it straight. It is 2025 and I'm still paying. Yes. The only good thing about it is if you know how much you're supposed to have been paying, I know how much I've paid so far. Like I said, I keep track and I know how much I'm supposed to pay in all. So no matter what I do right now, I can't afford not to have a job because I have bills that I have to pay. You forget the utility bills and the phone bills and the rent. That particular money, that is business. So you have to be paying. It's not a clear cut gen. Maybe somebody holding a PR or somebody who is a citizen here might not face what I'm facing. Do you get it? Even though you might have a bad credit score, maybe because I was an international student, I had so much to prove, unlike somebody who is not, or maybe somebody having a business might not go through what I am going through. There's so many things that you need to read, and there's so many stands that you need to take. Like I keep saying, nobody is doing you a favor. I'm saying that especially to the Africans that are here. They are not doing you a favor. It's business. So if there's something, especially Ghanaians, if you're entering into an agreement and you don't feel okay, there's not a time when you act all nice. You is fine. I will see. No, honey, if you're not fine, you're not fine. Say it, okay? Because they will never do anything that will jeopardize their interest. So why should you do that? Say that in a very respectful manner and walk away if you have to. If you don't understand certain things, don't go like, oh, you will not magically understand it if you don't understand it. It's their operation. They do it day in, day out, and they expect you to ask questions if you don't understand something. So don't play ball if you're not really, really, really ready to play ball. Do you get it? I hope this video goes a long way to help anyone that is, at the point of getting a loan from a financial institution here in Canada, a private financial institution here in Canada. My name is Dorothy Cornelius. Please do well to drop in your questions if you have them, and I would gladly answer them. See you in my next video. Bye.